Hi Vivek, how are you doing?
Hey Maya, you seem worried. What happened?
Vivek, I lost my bracelet. Help me out.
Okay, how did it look?
It was made up of metal.
What is metal?
Hi everyone. Welcome to our YouTube channel Askprep. In today's video, we are going to discuss about metals and non-metals. Metals. Metals are substances that develop naturally under the Earth's surface. Most metals are bright or glossy. The hardness varies from metal to metal. Some metals can be beaten into thin sheets. This property is called malleability. The ability of metals to be drawn into thin wires is called ductility. Gold is the most ductile metal. You will be surprised to know that a wire of about 2 kilometers length can be drawn from 1 gram of gold. Examples of metals: gold, silver, aluminium, copper, iron, etc. Non-metals. Non-metals are materials that lack all of the characteristics of metals. They are excellent heat and electricity insulators. They are usually gases, although they can also be liquids. Non-metals have a tendency to be fragile in their solid state. As a result, they lack the malleability and ductility that metals have. Examples of non-metals are hydrogen, helium, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen. Chemical properties of metals. 1. Metals are malleable and ductile. 2. Metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. Lead is an exception. 3. Metals like sodium and potassium are stored in oil as they react with air in seconds. They're highly reactive metals. 4. Almost all metals combine with oxygen to form metal oxides. Metal plus oxygen, metal oxide. 5. Metals react with water and produce a metal oxide and hydrogen gas. Metal oxides that are soluble in water dissolve in it to further form metal hydroxide. But all metals do not react with water. Metal plus water, metal oxide plus hydrogen. Metal oxide plus water, metal hydroxide. Reactivity series. Reactivity series is the series of metals based on their reactivity from highest to lowest. It is also known as activity series. The reactivity of metals is because of their incomplete outer orbitals or due to their electronic configuration. How do metals and nonmetals react? Nonmetals are electronegative in nature. They have very high electron affinity to complete their octet, whereas metals are electropositive in nature. They lose electrons to attain noble gas configuration. So there takes place a complete sharing of electrons between the metal and nonmetal, forming bond between them. Such bonds are called ionic bonds. In this way, metal and nonmetal react. The compounds formed by the transfer of electrons from a metal to a nonmetal are known as ionic compounds or electrovalent compounds. Ionic compounds. Ionic compounds are compounds made up of ions that form charged particles when an atom or group of atoms gains or loses electrons. A cation is an ion charged positively, and an anion is an ion charged negatively.
Maya, it's funny how this conversation turned into a class.
Yes, I learned it at Askprep.
I will also subscribe to their channel.
Properties of ionic compounds. 1. Physical nature. Ionic compounds are solids and are somewhat hard because of the strong force of attraction between the positive and negative ions. These compounds are generally brittle and break into pieces when pressure is applied. 2. Melting and boiling points. Ionic compounds have high melting and boiling points. This is because a considerable amount of energy is required to break the strong interionic attraction. 3. Solubility. Electrovalent compounds are generally soluble in water and insoluble in solvents such as kerosene, petrol, etc. 4. Conduction of electricity. The conduction of electricity through a solution involves the movement of charged particles. A solution of an ionic compound in water contains ions, which move to the opposite electrodes when electricity is passed through the solution. Occurrence of metals. Most metals occur in nature in free state or combined state. A metal is said to occur in free state when it is found in nature in its metallic form. In combined state, metals occur as compounds with other elements, usually non-metallic. The Earth's crust is the major source of metals. Seawater also contains some soluble salts such as sodium chloride, magnesium chloride, etc. Corrosion. Corrosion is a natural process that converts a refined metal into a more chemically stable oxide. It is the gradual deterioration of materials by chemical or electrochemical reaction with their environment. Once silver articles become black after some time when exposed to air. This is because it reacts with sulfur in the air to form a coating of silver sulfide. Copper reacts with most carbon dioxide in the air and slowly loses its shiny brown surface and gains a green coat. This green substance is basic copper carbonate. 3. Iron, when exposed to moist air for a long time, acquires a coating of a brown flaky substance called rust. Prevention of corrosion. The rusting of iron can be prevented by painting, oiling, greasing, galvanizing, chrome plating, anodizing or making alloys. Galvanization is a method of protecting steel and iron from rusting by coating them with a thin layer of zinc. Alloying is a very good method of improving the properties of a metal. We can get the desired properties by this method. For example, iron is the most widely used metal. But it is never used in its pure state. This is because pure iron is very soft and stretches easily when hot. But if it is mixed with a small amount of carbon, about 0.05%, it becomes hard and strong. When iron is mixed with nickel and chromium, we get stainless steel, which is hard and does not rust. Thus, if iron is mixed with some other substance, its properties change. In fact, the properties of any metal can be changed if it is mixed with some other substance. The substance added may be a metal or a non-metal. An alloy is a homogeneous mixture of two or more metals, or a metal and a non-metal. It is prepared by first melting the primary metal and then dissolving the other elements in it in definite proportions. It is then cooled to room temperature. If one of the metals is mercury, then the alloy is known as an amalgam. The electrical conductivity and melting point of an alloy is less than that of pure metals.
Look, Maya, there it is.
Yes. We found it.
Alright then, Maya. Bye. See you later.
Keep learning from Askprep.